All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to do some work with measurement. Now, because of where we live in the world and the fact we are attached to the United States, it behooves us, which is a $5 way of saying it's a good idea. It's a good idea for us to be able to work in both systems. Now, the problem with converting between the systems is the numbers aren't pretty. They don't work out well. So I like to start with converting within the same system where the numbers are easy, there's no crazy decimals, and you can learn how to do it. Even though the problem with it is you all already know how to do it, you find it so easy that you do the work in your head. And even though it's exactly the same when you have to work between systems, because you've been working in your head, you have trouble because you're not actually writing down what's going on. So we'll start with converting within your own systems. And the piece of math knowledge or logic that we use is called proportional reasoning. Now, proportional reasoning is something that, believe it or not, I know you won't believe it, but it is something you can use every single day of your adult life. I do this literally every single day. When comparing what size of, cat food bag to buy. One bag costs this much money, the other bag has a little bit more in it, costs a little bit more money, so you do a quick little bit of math and you find out which one is a better deal. Now, unfortunately for us, stores think that we're stupid, and we always are conditioned to buy more and you pay less, buy in bulk. That's how Costco works. Of course, that is not always the case. For example, I just bought some bacon. There was a big pack of bacon that was on sale. It was 1 kilogram for $8.99. I was like, wow, that's a good deal. And then right over to the other side was 500 grams of bacon on sale for $4. Of course, 2 of those smaller packages got me the same amount of bacon for less money. That was an easy one because you could do it in your head. But it's actually very useful. You use it in chemistry. You can use it in social science. You can use it in biology. You can use it in money exchanging. You can use it if you're buying stuff in the United States and wondering if you're going to be paying more for it or less. Even though the price is lower, is the exchange rate higher? It's very useful. And it's really easy to work with. And I'm going to write it over here in black because we're going to use what we do over here to answer these questions. You have a value, whatever that value that you start with. Okay, and I'm going to highlight that yellow because I'm going to use color coding to help everybody out. And you multiply that value by the following fraction. You multiply it by what you want, which I'm going to highlight in blue, over what you have. Oops, that didn't write very well. What you have. And I'm going to highlight that in green. And you can always use this to find out how the proportions of 2 things match up. And we're going to start doing a really easy one. Now, some of you have already been able to convert this in your head. You know that 485 centimeters, you already know what that is in meters. But, like I said, even though it's super easy, you can do it in your head, if you practice doing it the long way, then when you get to harder ones, it's super easy to do. So we're going to start here. 485 centimeters, that's our starting value. So that's yellow, so we write it out, 485. And I'm going to highlight it in yellow. You needn't highlight, it's just to remind you how this works. 485 centimeters. Now, I multiply by what I want. What am I converting it to? Meters. What do I already have? Centimeters. Now, where do I get the numbers to fill this in? I go to my chart that I just gave you, but it's right here, so you don't have to keep flipping to your chart today. on this chart, you see right there, 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So you go down to your equation. The meters gets the 1. The centimeters gets 100. And then I have it highlighted to color code with what we are doing up here. And then all you do is do the multiplication. 485 times 1 is 485 over 100. 485 divided by 100 is 4.85 meters. Now, again, a great many of you already did that in your head. You already knew what it was. Josh, go. Pardon me? Yeah, because you're in the wrong class. You were supposed to be here last block, I think, in grade 11, weren't you? What's your name, man? Yeah, I think you're in another one of my classes. Hold up. Come here. What book do you have? You have the yellow one, right? Green one. Yeah. Yeah, come here. Bring your timetable. I thought that was the case. You're in my grade 11 class. Oh, no, you're here. Why do you have a green one? You're supposed to have a blue one. Ah! You're supposed to have that. You have that, right? Yeah, you're supposed to have that. But let me check, because when did you get this? Today. So you got moved. Okay. So you sit back down there, you use that. Because when did they move you, Haram? This morning? Before lunchtime? Or after lunchtime? After lunchtime. That's why. Okay. Thanks, Josh. All right. So, you've seen how to do it. You guys try to do number 2. It's not on the screen because I turned it off. You guys try to do number 2. Set it up. Get an answer. You're going to use your calculator, and it's going to give you a weird answer that we're going to need to talk about. So everybody set it up. Use your calculator, and then tell me what your answer is. Close.
Number 6 is a bit off.
No, number 6 is, I think, right on. 4 is off. And I can't remember if 5 is exact. I got to punch it in. 4 and 6 are going to be weird. I can't remember that one. I can't do that one in my head. All right. I have highlighted 2 things that are weird in yellow. What's wrong with the 1 and 4? Because everybody should have been able to get these answers. Everyone was good, yes? And I remind you, I'm showing you this because this always works, no matter what. What you start with, multiply by what you want over what you have. And you get the numbers to fill that in from your chart. So what would I need to do with number 4 to make it the best possible answer? Josh. Pardon me? Oh crap, I'm in highlighter. That is one thing I could do. I could have stopped writing and put that there, right? Good answer. Can I make it a better answer? Anusha.
Round it down.
I could say it was 45 yards. Good answer. Can I make it a better answer? What is that? Oh, Jovan. 45 yards, 1 foot. Why? Lasse. Keep talking. Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay. Yep. Okay, bye. Why is that okay?
Because 0.3 is the same as 1 over 3, and 1 over 3 is 1/3.
That is 1/3.
Yes.
There's 3 feet in a yard, so it is 45 yards and 1 foot. Does everybody understand? All the answers that you gave me are right. Some are better than others. Is everybody good? Now, this causes trouble for you people. I need to know the right answer. They're all right. Because what is the important part in this math? Is it the stuff circled in blue, or is it the stuff circled in green? Blue. This is about the math. Is everyone good? Okay. Now, what's weird about this one? Oh, sorry. Everyone should be okay with that one. What's weird about this? Why did I highlight that in yellow? What shouldn't be there? Highlighted in yellow, something's wrong with that, technically. Last. Yeah, we shouldn't be using decimals in imperial. But when we're dealing with numbers the size of miles, what do miles break down into? Yards and feet. Are those nice numbers to work with? No. So when we deal with miles, we often put it into decimals. Again, the point is the math is the important part, not what we write there. Is everybody good? All right. 7, 8, 9, 10. You're going to have a little bit of trouble with number 10. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Remember, 7, 8, 9, 10, those are like, you don't have to know anything to do them. You just got to follow the rules, right? But when we get into 11 and so on, then you got to actually do some thinking. So 7, 8, 9, 10 are still like the first steps of practice. So set them up, make sure you get the right answer. And again, I cannot stress this enough. you really should be practicing writing it out the long way, because when we get into the next couple of days, we are converting from imperial to metric. It will be easier if you are used to writing this out properly. I promise you that. I'll wait a moment while everybody gets these down. 1:45, right on schedule. Now, number 7 is a stupid math class question, isn't it? Because if something was 5,000 yards away from you, would you ever measure it in inches? Ever. That's stupid, right? That's like saying to get a first down in football, I need to go 360 inches. What do we really say? 10 yards, right? We don't say 360 inches, right? If I was going to run a marathon, we say I'm going to run 26 miles. I don't say I'm going to run 137,280 feet, do I? No. So this is just an idiotic math class question to make sure you're used to actually converting it. And the answer is what? Somebody punched this into their calculator. I know they did. Don't be scared. The worst thing that can happen is I say no. What is it, Marcos? It is exactly 189,000. What's number 8? 125 centimeters. What's number 9? And why is number 10 a pain? Jacob. There's nowhere on the chart that shows kilometers to centimeters or to millimeters, because again, that's a stupid math class question, isn't it? Right? The only reason it's there is to see if you guys can figure it out. What can I do on my chart? Josh? Millimeters, centimeters, easy peasy. Then centimeters to meters, easy peasy. Meters to kilometers, easy peasy, right? So, Josh says, and I'll use 3 different colors for it. He said I should go to centimeters first. 17.2, right? Times, I want centimeters, 1/10. So that's 17.2 divided by 10, right? That gets me 1.72. Then, I want to go to meters. So that's going to be times 1/100. So that's going to be 0.0172, right? And then that is times 1 over how many meters in a kilometer? 1,000. So that decimal place has to move how many spots? 3 zeros. How many spots? 3 spots. And what goes in the empty spaces? When that decimal moves, what has to go there? 0. That's 1 spot. Then another spot. Then another spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 7, 2. But you would never measure that way, would you? If I had to go this far between my 2 fingernails, would I ever measure that in kilometers? No, of course not. That's stupid. But the way you get there is useful to know. Just how to do it. not whether you would do it or not. Everybody good? All right. So everybody's had a bit of practice setting this up now. Let's start thinking about applying it to real life. I got a board. I got to measure it. 6 feet 4 inches. So I got a number. Is number 11 the exact same question as 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10? Yeah, it is, except it's being written as a word problem now. Is it any different? No. What's it asking me to do? It's giving me a measurement, and it's asking me to convert it. Do I need to care about the feet or the inches or both when I'm converting? Josh? Both. Do I need to convert both? Just the feet. So I take my 6 feet and I multiply it because I want inches. 12 inches over 1 foot. Now already all of you should be noticing that what do you get to do with the 1 every time? Do you get rid of it? Up here we got rid of the 1 and we had 1,250 divided by 100, right? The 1 just disappeared. So what do I do here? The 1 disappears and I've got 6 times 12, which is what? 72. Now, how many of you needed to use your calculator for 6 times 12? This is not a put down. I'm doing something here. How many of you would have grabbed your calculator to do 6 times 12? Be honest. Almost all of you. Eventually. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. Here is what is wrong with that. If I were to give this to you as a multiple choice test, guess what I'm going to make choice A? There's going to be A, B, C, D. Guess what choice A would be? 72. Why? Because that's what you're going to see on your calculator. Is that the right answer? No, because what do I got to do with those 4 inches? Add them on. So what's the real answer? 76. You people have been so conditioned to read your answers from your calculators that many math teachers will mess with your head and write things out like this. They'll put what you see on your calculator as one of the choices, even if it's not right. Which is why I cannot stress it enough again, do the work. I try not to do that to you, but I am not the only math teacher you're ever going to have. Right? So be careful. And of course, if you do any math at university, they don't put the right answer on the test. A multiple choice test in math at university is 10 choices, and the right answer isn't there. You have to choose the closest answer. And it's A through J, not A through D. I know, right? Okay, next one. Math test, math class question or real life question for number 12? We all have living rooms, but would we ever measure a room that big in inches? No. So math class or real life? Math class. Should we practice it? Sure we should. If I need to convert to inches, do I need to convert yards, feet, or both? Lassa. I need to do both. Is there more than one way I could do it? Josh, what were you going to say? Yeah, you could do it that way for sure. What would you get then? How would you do it? Uh-huh. So 5 by 3 got him his 15 feet. And then the feet, he added 2 and got 17 feet. And then he converted. Is that okay? Could he also have done yards to inches, feet to inches, and then added them? Is either way better or worse than the other way? No. Who makes the decision on how to convert something? You do. Everybody understand? So Josh went 17 by 12 to get 170, 204. Right? Everybody understand? Now, next question. Do I mark the whole question wrong if you forget to write inches or inches? What do you think? You think I would mark that whole question wrong, Micah? You think I'm that mean? That hurts. That really hurts me. Look at how sad I am. I'm just kidding. I'm not really sad. But would I do that? You guys have only known me for 4 days, but you need to learn this stuff. Would I, like your grade 3 teacher, mark the whole question wrong if you forgot inches? How many of you have had a teacher that would have done that to you? Right. Technically, are those teachers right too? Sure they are, because I asked for it in inches, right? But in the real world, if you were doing a bunch of calculation, then going to Home Depot to buy some stuff, who needs to be able to read your work? You or the Home Depot guy? You. If you know what you've done, you're okay, right? Everybody with me? All right. Okay, number 13 is tricky. Lots more words. What are the important parts of that question? 6 yards and 5 inches. I got that 6 yards and I'm going to cut it into 5 inches. What math is that? What math cuts big numbers into smaller numbers? Subtraction's 1. What's the other one? Division. Can I divide yards and inches? Why not? Why can't I? Lassa? They're different. I got to know how many chunks of 5 inches I can get out of 6 yards, so I got to convert something, don't I? Which do I convert? Yards to inches to yards, or does it matter? Doesn't matter. I would convert yards to inches. Am I allowed to go yards to feet to inches if I want? Yes. Can I go yards straight to inches if I want? Who makes that decision? You do. So, what are you going to do? I got to go yards. Who's going to volunteer? Who wants to go yards to feet or yards to inches? Who's going to tell me what to do? Josh, what'd you do? You went yards to inches. So I bet you went yards times 36 over 1. Because 36 inches are in 1 yard, right? And what'd you get? 216 inches of ribbon. What am I dividing that 216 by? 5. Now, what does that answer give you on your calculator? 43.2. How many ribbons do I get? 43. Now, if I were a mean math teacher, what would choice A on your test be? It would be 43.2. What would choice D be? 43. How many of you would circle A because that's what was on your calculator? Be honest, a few of you would, right? But you're not going to get that 44th ribbon, are you? And you can't make 0.2 of a ribbon. That's no good. Now let me ask you this, and think about it carefully before you answer. What if I had 219 inches and I divided by 5? What would I get? Use your calculator and check it. I would get 43.8, right? How many ribbons can I make? 43. What number would I round that to in math class? 44. But I can't make that 44th ribbon, can I? So real life differs from math class. Everybody understands? In real life, I'd round that up. In math class, I can't. Everybody good? Number 14, what are the 2 ways you could do that? Two different ways I can do 14. What's one of them? Josh. Meters. Right, you gave me both answers. I could go 2,000 minus 755, and that would give me the answer in meters. I could also go 2 minus 0.755 to get the answer in kilometers. Which is better? Doesn't matter. Right? Why doesn't it matter? Because I didn't tell you. This way, it's 1,245. This way, it's 1.245. Are they the exact same distance? Yep. Do I care? What's different in number 15? I care, right? I want kilometers. So I got to change two of those. Which two? The second and the third. Easy peasy. So this has to be converted. How do I change meters to kilometers? Go. And I'm only doing one more question, then you guys are going to get 28 minutes to do, I lie, 24 minutes to do 4 questions. What do I have to convert in number 16? I got to do miles to yards, 4 times 1760, and that gets me 7,000. What did it get me, Javon?
Like the answer? Or?
Yeah, if you give me the answer, I'll know what this gave me.
Oh, I got 7,500. No, 7,052.
52?
Point.
Yeah, that's right. 7,052. So this got you 7,040.
Yeah.
Then you added 12 yards to get 7,052. Now, what are you going to do with 13 inches? How do you convert 13 inches to a yard? It's a little more than 1 foot, right? Which is 1/3 of a yard, right? So am I happy if you told me that? Do you think? Does that make me happy? Does that show me you understand measurement? That 13 inches is about a foot, which is 1/3 of a yard? Does that make me happy? If I was measuring 7,052 yards, that's over 7 kilometers, right? And you were off by an inch. Does that show me you understand the math? Yes. Everybody good? Would I be happy with 7,052.3? Repeating. Would I be happy? Yeah. Would I be happy with this? 7,052 and 13/36 of a yard. Would I be happy with that? The yards are all the same. 13 inches is 13 out of 36 yards. Is that okay too? Which is the best possible answer? Yellow, blue, or green? Best possible answer. The answer that would make that grade 3 teacher that marked the whole thing wrong if you forgot to put centimeters Which of those three is the one that he or she would have wanted? Green. Because 13 inches is that fraction of a yard. Right? Who are you dealing with? Are you dealing with that teacher? No. You're dealing with me. What's more important? Concepts or little tiny niggling details? Concepts. Everybody good? All right. Your work today, and it's all you're getting, one sec, is page, I should make you do 20. Just 19 and 20. It's only 5 questions. Well, I will remind you. Perimeter equals everything in green, the measurement around the outside of any shape. Area equals everything inside. So this is 2 times length plus width, and area is length times width. And your job for me, for the rest of today and tomorrow, before class tomorrow, is pages 19 and 20. Now, 19 to 20. Now, there is an issue with number 19. And I put it there on purpose because it was a question I took off an old provincial exam because it's not a very good question. Some of you are not going to be able to answer number 19. If you can't figure out number 19, then you need to be able to tell me why. Okay? Does everybody understand?
Question 18.
Explain 18. What's to explain? The frame is an inch thick.
Like, you talked about it.
Yep. Okay, look. Here's a picture of my face. The face is this wide by this tall, right? So you know the perimeter of the picture. The frame's an inch thick. So figure it out. Is it for marks? So are you allowed to be wrong? So try it. When you see it tomorrow, or possibly later today, depending on how long this takes, you'll know. Okay. And that's all your work tonight. We are going, you will notice, extraordinarily slowly. There is a reason. You may move around, you may talk to each other. Pages 19 and 20 is your work.